morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, we're going to be taking a look at a new Whimsicott card. And Whimsicott cards tend to be fairly interesting. And I think this may well be the best Whimsicott we've had so far. No disrespect to the wages of fluff Whimsicott, which we all love as a bit of a joke deck. This one might actually be legitimately good. Now, our translation here does come from the lovely David Hochmann over at RappelMann TCG, although with a fair bit of help from the lovely Joe over at Cerebi.net. And if we start off having a little bit of a look at the basics, it's fairly unimpressive. It's got 80 HP, which is very, very low, but not low enough to use Professor Elm's lecture, which we don't particularly like. It has a weakness to metal, which honestly is fine. Metal's just not really a powerhouse type right now. People just aren't really playing it, so maybe it comes back around, and when it does, but then again, you've still only got 80 HP. What I do love here is the free retreat. This is a bench-sitting Pokemon that we expect to sit on the bench, not really ever get up attacking. So actually just having it with free retreat is a wonderful, wonderful bonus. Now, being a fairy Pokemon, you are hitting weakness against some vaguely relevant things. I mean, Ultra Necrozma's really good, and Rayquaza will probably never really go away. There's a lot of potential there. But you do also have access to Wonder Labyrinth Prism Star and all of the Fairy Charms. Fairy Charms give you protection from EX or GX that meet the description. So Fairy Charm UB will protect you from things like Blacephalon GX or Ultra Necrozma GX. And Image Wonder Labyrinth Prism Star is there. Now, it's a Prism Star Stadium. You only get one in your deck, but it increases the cost by 1 of all non-fairy Pokemon attacks. You don't have to play Whimsicott in a fairy deck, but if you choose to, this is going to be nice. But it really is the ability here with which we are primarily concerned, and the ability here is an absolute doozy. Although it is one that we've seen before. And it reads, once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may search your deck for any card and put it into your hand. You just get to instantly search your deck for any card whatsoever, and it goes straight into your hand. And we've seen this before. We saw it on the Roserade from Dragons Exalted, and we saw it on the Ledian EX, and according to Joe, this has actually even got the same name of Prowl, although it was a Poker Power back then. So it's not unique, it's not the first time we've seen it, but it is really, really good. Now, to be fair, I was not playing when Ledian was around, but I was playing when Roserade was around, and Roserade saw quite a lot of play. That's not to say it was a staple in every single deck, but it is to say it's a really, really good card. It is a stage 1 where you evolve up and boom, you're ready to go. And this can search out anything. I mean, I mentioned Prism Stars earlier. This can search your Wonder Labyrinth Prism Star, or it can search your Thunder Mountain Prism Star. And it can also search your Special Energy, and Special Energy is not easy to find at the moment. The best thing we've had for finding Special Energy is Energy Lotto, but that's actually rotating out, so we're not even going to have that anymore. Maybe Pokénav? If you're into that? Looking at the top 3 cards of your deck and finding an energy or a Pokemon? Yeah! I mean, no. It's not a particularly good option. So these special energy cards like Rainbow Energy, or even, if you want to combine Prism Star and Special Energy, you could have a little bit of a chat about Super Boost Energy here. You can get what you need in a Stage 2 deck. You can grab that rare candy so that you can then go and evolve into a Stage 2 right away. Or you can grab yourself an item card like a Duskstone, for instance, to grab yourself that Miss Magius that you need in order to start drawing a whole bunch of cards. You can KO it when it's on the bench and then draw until you've got 7 cards in hand. The point here is that you can get any card you like. And look, we can do that at the moment. We've got Red's Challenge. Red's Challenge will search for any card whatsoever in your deck and put it in your hand. The thing is, it's your only supporter card for the turn, and you got to discard any 2 cards from your hand. That's not ideal. Whereas here, you just evolve up into a stage 1. Now, one of the biggest downsides we can say about this, you evolve up into a stage 1. You search. Yay! It's then sitting there. And look, if nothing else, it's a free retreat Pokemon, and a free retreat is wonderful. When you get something KO'd, you just whack it up. It's kind of annoying that we're losing both Escape Rope and we're losing Guzma, because this will be a great card to pop active with either of those and then retreat afterwards. But we're losing him, so it's kind of a moot point. But just having a free retreater on the field is super, super handy, so that you've always got something to pop active, so you're not wasting energy retreating, searching for a switching card, etc., etc. But we really want to reuse this ability as much as we can. Now, the bad news is we're losing Ace Roller. Otherwise, you could try and get it damaged and then just pick it up nice and easily. But we are keeping Super Scoop Up. And Super Scoop Up generally turns into search your deck for any 1 card. Now, if you've got a Cottony on the bench, you can literally pick it up and then immediately evolve the Cottony, assuming you didn't put it down this turn. Otherwise, you Super Scoop, you put the Cottony down, and then next turn, you get to search for any card, except you've already got the card in your hand, the Whimsicott, so you should be alright there. It's a nice ability. It is better suited as a one-off early game to really get what you need, rather than something you're relying on as you go through. But as it stands at the moment, it's still a very nice early option. Whether that's for that Beast Energy at the perfect time, or even in an Ultra Beast deck, B-String. Except, you could go B-String, and B-String lets you accelerate 2 energy onto your Pokemon, and that's fine. But how about we go further? How about we use Whimsicott to search for Green's Exploration, and then Green's Exploration, assuming you've got no Pokemon in play with an ability, will then let you search for 2 B-String. Now, it is your only supporter for the turn, but it's still an option. I really like this. I think this ability is amazing. The biggest downside, of course, we've got other Stage 1 consistency Pokemon. Now, we are losing Oranguru to the rotation, and that's a little bit sad, boo, hiss, etc. But we're still going to have Zebstrika. Discard your hand, draw 4 cards once per turn. And we're still going to have Pidgeotto. Once during your turn, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put 1 in your hand, 1 on the bottom of your deck. We're going to have Macago that searches for any card you like once per turn. Although it whacks it on top of your deck, it doesn't put it into your hand. This is an option, and it is great in the early game for boom, now I've got what I want, go me. Do please just bear in mind that it might not always give you what you want in a mid to late game, especially if you don't have a way to pick it up. Now, as for the attack here, 1 colorless energy, 40 damage. It's fine. It will get a 1-hit KO on a Ditto Prism Star, and that's going to see play from now until the rotation. And, I mean, look, you'll get some things with weakness. So, for instance, the new Garchomp looks really good. And we've got a really nice Gibble that's got free retreat if you attach a fighting energy. But then again, we've got a fighting type Gibble. And maybe you want to play the Dragon one. And honestly, at a glance, I probably would play the Dragon one. Especially with Brooklet Hill rotating out. So maybe you get that. But that's kind of it. You'll get evolving dragon Pokemon for what it's worth, most of them anyway, and you'll get Ditto Prism Star. That's about it. It's not a particularly good attack, it's not a particularly inspiring attack, but honestly, it's not the reason why we're playing this card. It's not for that. We're playing the card for the ability, and I know that for a lot of decks it is just going to be a one-off one-shot, but then again, so was Roserade, and that's all play. So I don't see why this wouldn't. I'm giving it 4 Wassies. I don't think it's a stunning 5 Wassie card that's going to start knocking Zebstrika out of decks. But I do think it's going to see a hefty play in a whole bunch of different decks. So I think it's probably fair to go 4 Wassies. But I would very much like to know what you think. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WasiPlays, where we talk about games that don't even have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.